This week on the Pulse of the Eastern Townships, I'm William Crooks. Coming up first, Sutton Mayor Robert Benoît joins me to walk through the town's 2026 budget. We look at rising policing costs, infrastructure pressures, tax increases, water security, and how Sutton is trying to balance affordability with long-term planning in a challenging financial climate. Then we turn to a very different but equally important story. We hear from Jan Martin, Executive Director of the Adaptive Sports Foundation, an organization that has been changing lives in the Eastern Townships and across Quebec for more than 30 years by opening the world of sport to people with physical limitations. The second segment was produced with the support of the Local Journalism Initiative, right down the road in Knowlton at CIDI 99.1 FM. Here are those conversations. I'm William Crooks. Today on the Pulse of the Eastern Townships, I'm joined by Sutton Mayor Robert Benoît to break down the town's 2026 budget. We talk about rising policing costs, infrastructure pressures, tax increases, water security, and how Sutton is trying to balance affordability with long-term financial planning. Here's that conversation. Please start by highlighting some of the parts of the 2026 budget that you'd like to draw people's attention to, Mr. Benoît.
The first thing I think about the budget I want to highlight is that it's a budget of continuity. It was kind of rather easier this year to do the budget since we've done four before, and so it's in the continuity of that vision of us for the financial situation of Sutton. We are pretty happy that our revenues and expenses kind of are in the low 4 or 5%. It's a very difficult situation for a city, given the price of materials, given everything that we had to cover, especially one of the things that I highlighted. And not a lot of people know about it, but the cost of the police, the Sûreté du Québec has increased almost 10%, 9.6% for us. It's 1.9 million, and it's a lot of money. In terms of covering that increase, it's just that amount covers. It's 11% of our budget. And in terms of increase, it's a roughly more a little bit of 1%. So when you look at the increase of 3.8, 3.9, 1% is due to the police cost, and we cannot do anything about it because at the end of each year we receive a bill, and we don't have any choice but to pay it. So we're not the only ones about it. A lot of the cities, given their the evaluation of their houses are in the 9 to 10%. So that's a lot of money for a municipality to cover. So that's one of the first instances. Also, what we want to highlight is that we will be doing a lot this year about urbanism. Our urban plan was approved last year, and last week it was approved by the MRC as being conformed with the schéma d'aménagement. And so what that signifies is that we have 6 months in order to make changes to the zoning in the bylaws related to urbanism. And that's the proof of the pudding, because there's a lot of work to be done for the next 6 months in order to modify our zoning bylaws, since we think there is a lot to improve in that part. Citizens have told us at the last election that we need to modify our perspective on that, not only on the zoning bylaws, but also on the way we communicate with people. So what we've announced is that we're going to make some changes at the head of the urbanism service. We're going to recruit a new person that will give us that will be, I would say, more inclined to open communications with the public, with people who are asking permits, because this is a complaint that we've heard, that we've received. So what we've done is that we will keep the director of the service because he's a real professional. He's the person who will handle the zoning changes. He's the only person that can do that. So we're going to have a contract with him for the next year, maybe 2 years. And we'll have an interim director that will be named next council meeting. And so that represents $150,000 more on the budget. So we will do that this year in order to improve communications with the permit seekers. The other thing that I want to highlight is we will continue building new projects. We have a well. We have a second well to be built in the village, and that's very important because our existing well has maybe a little bit of problems. We've seen it's 40 years old, and we need to be sure that we cover any contingency if we have a problem with the well. That's one of the main things that we'll do. We'll do also work on the Schlereal next fall. At the end of the summer next fall, we had a grant from the provincial government of roughly less than $1 million. So we will redo a major culvert like the one we did last year. As a matter, not last year, but the year before. Time flies, and we will do that. And we have several other projects that to do some pavement. The good news that I've announced last week at the council meeting is that the Ministry of Transportation will redo the Main Street and the Maple Street. The asphalt is going to be redone. So that's a major endeavor that will be done this year because the roads are really in a very, very poor state at this time. So especially at this time with the need pool, so those are the major highlights. The total increase for, as you know, there's 3 zones, 3 sectors that have different increases, but most of them are in the 3.8%. 3.8% is a little bit more than 3.3, which was our target. But in the end, it represents only $20 differential. The $20 differential will, and obviously people can pay their 4 installments that people can pay per year. So it represents a little bit of an increase compared to 3.3, but it gives us also the opportunity because we see we're trying to have a vision for mid and long term on this budget. What we want to erase is the possibility to increase too much taxes on a yearly basis. So we are seeing that next year there's going to be an increase in the debt sector. So we're trying to manage that this year so that there's no sudden increases and too large increases on the total amount. So I think that those are the most important highlights that I want to convey.
Okay, great. I have a few questions. So going back to the SQ issue, I just talked to Lee Patterson last week, and I talked to a North Hatley man named Aaron Patella, who has a lot of he's studying he's an expert in municipal finances through school and things like that. What I brought up to them was, is one part, now Lee Patterson said this was not possible for Knowlton, but would it be possible for Sutton to have its own small police department and save money on police?
I don't think so. I think we're a little bit like Lee in Drone Lake. The best option would have been to merge with Bromont, but the Quebec government doesn't want that. doesn't want any merger like that. They want to keep the SQ, and so I don't think, years ago, probably 20 years ago, Sutton had its own police force, but I don't think it's cost benefit at this time. But also, I don't think it would be possible given the way the government of Quebec is managing. And as you know, they don't want any more municipal officers for police. So I don't think it's a possibility right now. And as you know, Lee Patterson in Brome, they're paying 2.9 million. We're paying 1.9. There's a 1 million differential between us and Brome, and nothing explains that in terms of police services. So it's only based on the value of the properties that increases so much in Brome and Sutton, so that we have to cover more costs to the police, to the SQ.
Right. Okay. You mentioned that there's a lot of Maple Street is being resurfaced. There's a lot of infrastructure things coming up, including the well. Is this kind of a coincidence that this is all coming up now, or has this been? People might, I guess, residents might worry that some of these things have been put off. Why all the infrastructure things this year?
Well, it's not this year. In the last 2 years, we've done a lot of work. In 2024, we did probably 7 or 8 million. Last year, almost the same. There's two reasons for that. First of all, we need to do the studies. The well study was done, I think, in 2023. Technically, we looked at it in 2023, 2024, and then the second reason is that we need to ask for subsidies in order to cover not most, but a large percentage of the cost, like at least 50%. And so we have to ask the Quebec government, and they don't always approve all our works. And this project was approved last year. The one in the Schleréal was approved at the end of the year. So we obviously wait for decisions by the government. So this is why we've done it this way. That's the explanation. But no, I can tell you, the important thing is that there was always a deficit of maintaining infrastructures in Quebec over the years. Our administration has taken the issue directly. We invested a lot. If you look at the depth of our debt, you'll see that it increased a lot because it was too low. It was really too low because there was not a lot of work to be done, investment to be done. Our positioning is that we need to do maintenance because otherwise, if you don't do it, you'll enter into big problems like shortage of waters, and nobody wants that for a municipality.
Right. Yes, for sure. Now, speaking of shortage of water, will this new well affect the moratorium on building on the mountain because water can't be pumped up?
No, it doesn't affect at all. The second well is just a risk management issue for the village, because there's no way we will pump water before we get a project approved by the government, whether it's the federal or provincial. So the only reason we're doing it is just to be sure that we give supply to the village if ever we have a problem. Because the problem that we have with the existing well is that some of the earth is caving in the well because the stability is questionable at this time. It's not a major problem, but it starts. We've noticed that 2 years ago. This is why we've done the study in order that the solution would be to have a second well in order to risk manage any difficulty with the existing well. The other issue that we've highlighted is that we've put a $15 million 3 years from now to do the pumping stations, and that in the infrastructure projects in the 3-year project infrastructure program, we've put $15 million for that, but this is obviously conditional to getting subsidies from the government.
Okay, fantastic. One more question. So you've reacted to rising housing prices in a variety of different ways. I know you're not really able to make a prediction, but if house prices keep rising, will that cause a long-term problem for Sutton, or is it not that hard to deal with?
Well, I can tell you that it's going to keep rising at this point in time. The reason for that is because the valuation of properties right now, there is a lag. There is an important lag, where the value is based on the summer of 2024. That's 18 months ago, more than 18 months ago, okay? And the message that I keep receiving by real estate agents is that prices keep going up. They're not going down. And it may take a little bit more time to sell a house, but Sutton is still very attractive for homeowners. And so this is why I think it's going to keep rising, because this is what the evaluation guys are telling me, the specialists who are doing the survey. It's going to rise unless there is a major crisis. So we don't expect that financially or economically, but anything can happen, obviously, but that will be keeping going up. So that's the first point of your answer. The second point is, does it affect Sutton? Yes, it affects us, especially in a good sense and in a bad sense. In a good sense is that property owners are very happy that their house is going up. So sometimes it's their retirement, their money up for their retirement under their house. So if they're coming to sell, I mean, obviously, there is a 43% increase on average last year, and that was almost 30% more 3 years before that. So houses almost doubled easily during the last 5 to 7 years. So that's the good news. The bad news, the bad news is affordability. It's very tough for young couples, for families, young families to buy a home here in Sutton. So we've experienced that. We've seen that the Statistic Canada will do a survey this year, and we'll see probably an increase in the age of residents in Sutton. More than 50% are over 55 years old. Probably will increase because of the non-affordability. What we are doing is we're trying to develop projects mostly for tenants. We don't need a lot of money to become owners, and we're looking at affordable housing. Also, we have projects on our map to design projects to help non-profit groups to develop projects. The federal government has announced $1 billion for affordable houses. We'll try to benefit from that. Obviously, we have projects that are at the point of just financing to do it. So this is how we're going to try to live with the rising cost of property houses.
Well, it's about that's good for me. Is there maybe a big takeaway? Anything that was missed that you'd like people to know?
Major issue is that I think with our budget, we are still very an effective city. Our budget is that almost, I think, 92% is based on property owners. We don't have any industrial park. We have a little bit of commercial properties, but more than 90% is residential. So we need to keep attracting residential people because this supports our way of life, supports our attractiveness, and supports and I think Sutton is one of the best villages to enjoy in Quebec, in Northeast, obviously. So I think we're trying to manage this situation the best way possible. We're trying to balance our budget the most efficient way. So I think that's what we'll be doing during the next 4 years. And to live with a budget, and I have always stressed that Sutton lives with a budget of about 16.5 million per year. That's compared to Moulton, which we have the same profile. Moulton has a budget to $7 million more. Same population, same kilometers of roads to maintain. But this is caused by a structural problem that for years Sutton didn't want to increase their taxes, so we're getting lagged behind, and we have to manage with a very small budget. Given the desires and the needs of people coming in and living in the city, who have tremendous desires to have services.
That was Sutton Mayor Robert Benoît speaking with me, William Crooks, on the Pulse of the Eastern Townships broadcast about the town's 2026 budget, infrastructure priorities, and the financial challenges facing small municipalities. You can read the full article online and many stories like it at pulsetownships.com.
And welcome everyone to the Township's Daily News Bits. I'm Holly Bailey here on 99.1, bringing you news and events that matter to townshippers, because we're in your corner. And this is through a local journalism initiative funded by the Government of Canada. In this episode, we head over to the Adaptive Sports Foundation, or la Fondation des Sports Adaptés. This was founded in Knowlton back in 1995 by a Mr. Peter Tracy. Many will know of this legendary gent who became a one-legged skier having followed an accident. It was his mission and his dream to create a ski school for children and adults living with physical disabilities so that everyone could get outside and enjoy nature and sports to the fullest. And we find ourselves 30 years later, the Adaptive Sports Foundation is flying high with more participants, sports, and options available year-round for people to take part. I sat down with Yann Martin, the executive director of the foundation, to hear what's going on, the impact it has, and how he himself got involved. So please do enjoy. So lovely to find you this morning, Yann. Monsieur Yann Martin, how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
Really, really well, thank you. And for full disclosure, I've known you for a number of years. I've been an active volunteer with the Adaptive Sports Foundation, and you are the new executive general. Is this your second year?
It's been a year now.
1 year, okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been involved with the foundation?
I started 10 years ago as a participant with the summer program. Then I went to the winter program the year after. So that was in the summer 2015 and winter 2016.
Okay.
And then I became a volunteer for the summer program in 2016. I became a volunteer for the winter program in 2017. And then I worked for ASF for a little bit, maybe a year and a half in 2018. And then I left and I came back maybe 2 years ago. And now I'm the executive director.
Amazing. You have such a visu, having played all these different roles in the foundation. How do you find it as the director?
It's different. Clearly, as a participant, I was able to enjoy all the activities, learn all the tricks and meet other participants. And then as a volunteer, I saw all the things differently because I was able to, help the others, not just learn, but help and, meet all the great people like you and all the volunteers. And now as the executive director, I see all the things behind the activities. So, recruiting the volunteers and getting the money and managing the people that are putting in place a program, like Francis, our program director. So everything is different, but I enjoy it. But if I had to choose one role, I would be a volunteer all the time. That's the best part.
I could attest to the fact, like, I volunteer, but c'est moi qui a le cadeau at the end of the day. I
Yeah.
just feel so full, and it's such an enjoyable time. Can you tell us a little bit, like, what kind of sports are offered through the foundation? You have like a winter season, more or less, and then a summer programming?
Yeah, yeah. So we have activities all year long. So in the winter, it's mainly alpine skiing, but we also have para-Nordic skiing, a little bit less often, mainly in Quebec City and now in the Laurentians. Not so much in the Eastern Township. It just, people don't ask for it. So, but we have the equipment for it. And
What is
so
para skiing? Sorry, what is
uh,
it?
it's ski de fond.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah.
Cross
So
country.
we
Okay.
yeah, cross country skiing. Yeah.
Okay,
So we have a
désolé.
luge, and so we do it. Yeah, sometimes maybe 10, 15 outings in the winter, and then the summer we have our water ski program, which is amazing. Takes a lot of our time, but we also have stand-up paddle, kayaking, paracycling, mountain bike, golf. So in total, we have around 10 sports.
Amazing. And we should be specific in the sense, like, this is dealing or working with participants who have physical limitations. So everything's adapted.
Yeah. Yeah. So to be able to do that, we need three things, our three pillars. So we need to have the volunteers, which is our greatest asset. We need to have the equipment, and well, we need to have participants that are willing to try those sports or enjoy those activities or try to get better at it. So, but without any of those three things, we can't have our program.
Right, right.
The three combined, which is why ASF has been there for 30 years now.
30 years. It celebrated its
Yeah.
30th in 2025. Is that it at the end of the
Yeah.
season?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I didn't realize that it had expanded into so many regions. Like, I'm reading Sept-Îles, Rimouski, Baie-Comeau. Like, it's incredible how it's expanded. The need is there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. And we have volunteers that are willing to do their part. Like in Côte-Nord, we have two volunteers that are running a small program, but they have the equipment and they give their time. So each winter they do around 15, 20 participants. And same thing for Mauricie. We go there maybe twice a year. We have around 20 participants, but that's what they need and what we can offer. Because every time we go to those cities, it's usually our volunteers from Quebec, the Quebec region, or the Eastern Township that are traveling there and putting in place the activity. We have some volunteers in those areas, but not enough and not the equipment to provide the activities on their own. So they need our support. So, we when we go somewhere, maybe we take, in the Mauricie, we grab 10, 12 of our volunteers from the Eastern Township. We go there, we do the activity. Sometimes we go there, we travel the day before, we stay there. And then we offer the lunch to our volunteers, and then we come back. And so it is a big day of activity.
There's a lot of pieces you have to coordinate to make
Yeah.
it just smooth and enjoyable that we don't see.
Yeah,
Bravo.
exactly.
So, like, and there's a huge expense to the equipment. Like, someone was asking me, wow, the snow carts that we ski with at, say, Owl's Head or Bromont, how much would a piece of equipment like that cost?
For the winter program, it goes around, the average is 10,000. But some pieces of equipment like the snow cart or the tandem, it goes to maybe 20,000. But just the outriggers, some participants use outriggers to help themselves. It's $1,000. So it's
Amazing.
just for a pair of outriggers that are not used often, but when we need them, we need to have those, and so we need to renew our inventory regularly. So we need to buy new equipment. But yeah, a dynamic, which is what we use most of the time in Alzad, it's $10,000.
And that's not even touching any of the expenses to run the foundation. So
Yeah.
you guys, the Adaptive Sports Foundation runs mainly on donations?
Yeah, 100% donations. Sometimes we apply for grants from other foundations, but it's a small part of what we get. It is mainly our donors.
Okay. That takes a lot of work to generate that, I would imagine. But I'm wondering, like, what do you see as the impact when you see the participants? And it's not just the participants, it's their families as well, and leurs proches, What kind of impact do you see in their lives?
Well, the fun part of what we do is that we get instant gratification from the people that are involved. It's when they get to the hill, sometimes they're nervous or they don't know what to expect, but 30 minutes later, they're on the hill, they're enjoying their day, they're with their family, with their friends, and it is the happiest day of the winter or the summer when they get to the lake. Instantly they feel they enjoy the activity, they enjoy the wind, the cold. Sometimes, and for most of them, the winter is, it's not the best when you're in a wheelchair. But being on the hill with the help of the volunteers, you don't see all the struggle in the snow or getting to a place where which is not accessible. When you're there, you can enjoy. You're free, and with the volunteers, you can go pretty much wherever you want. If they want to try and pissed. That they wouldn't be able to go by themselves. They can ask the volunteer, can we go there? And if the volunteer feels safe, they can try something new. And, that's the best part of the day.
I have to agree from my experience, like the joy you see on everyone's faces and the sense of freedom, like to have that speed and just to fly down that hill. It's amazing.
Yeah. Even though they ski differently because they have the equipment, they do the same as the other people on the hill. They are there to ski. So they ski in a different equipment, but they ski and they go fast and they take the bumps and they take the chair and so all the things that the people skiing enjoy, they can enjoy too.
That's Yann Martin, the executive director of the Adaptive Sports Foundation. It's now situated and headquartered in Bromont, but it serves the region and you can say extends out into the province of Quebec. Let's hear more about the volunteers, if they need people, and how their veterans program runs and who that supports. Here we go. I see another part too, like the breaking of isolation and sometimes people are shy or, to interact. And I see these little kids waiting in line at the ski hill and they're looking at the equipment and they're like amazed. So I asked them, I'm like, wow, isn't it cool? Like, look at his equipment. And they're like, wait, and sometimes that interaction just opens so much for everyone. It's really a nice exchange.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get that a lot. So people that are seeing us on the hill, maybe once a year or, they've seen us once in their lifetime. When I talk about ASF and I say that's my job, that's what I do, they say, oh yeah, I've seen you once or I've seen you at that hill. And they know, they've seen the volunteers and so they know how big it is. Because, when you see a participant, usually you have 2 or 3 volunteers around them and they see the equipment and they see all that it takes to be able to ski. And so they remember that. And, the good thing is that if they see us at a young age, maybe around, 12, 14 years old, in the future, they will remember us and they might get involved or they might talk about us to some of their friends. And so that is the good thing.
Yeah, it's a really nice, everyone joins après ski. It's like a family. It's a real team. It's a nice
Yeah.
feeling. Do you need more volunteers? Like, and do you have to be an expert skier or an amazing swimmer to volunteer?
Well, we always need new volunteers because some left and they did come back maybe a few years after. But the more volunteers we have, the more activities we can do. The thing is that in the winter we have a lot of requests in the week. So for the weekends, we have a lot of people that are available, but in the weekdays, we only ask our retired volunteers, which are not a lot, but they do whatever they can to be available. But yeah, we always need new volunteers, and they don't need to be expert.
Okay.
That's one thing. So people, yeah, for the winter program, they think that they need to be an expert skier or they need to know all the equipment and all that. No, no. For the first year or two, you can just be there and help for the chair and getting the equipment at the hill and all that. But there's not a lot that you need to do in regards to teaching or helping with the participant. So just being there and learning, and that's what we asked for at the beginning. And then if they want to do more, then we can do the training or we can help with the certification to be an instructor.
Okay. So all levels of expertise or ability can be of support to the program.
Yeah. And in the summer, it's the same. So if someone knows how to drive a boat, then that's perfect. They can help eventually. But at the beginning, we will just ask them to be in the water and help the participant get in the water. But after that, if they want to ski with the participant, then we will teach them how to. If they want to help with the sea-doo or the boat, then we will, get to know them better and know that they can do the job well. And if they can, then we will take them.
Okay, because safety always comes first. That's like everyone wants to finish the day and be in a good space. Safety comes first.
Yeah.
I laugh because sometimes, like you mentioned, a participant's like, "Can we go there?" And I'm like, "I think we're a little bit tired. It's the end of the day. On va garder ça pour la semaine prochaine." You got to make the call.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the courage and the trust that is built between like the participants and the lead or whoever, the trust they put in us, I think it's really special.
Yeah, especially when we have a good fit and they get to ski together more than one time. They can build that trust and that confidence and a relationship.
Exactly.
We have a lot of participants that are requesting to be with the same volunteer, the same instructor, because they trust them and they know them and they feel good with them. And so if we can do that and match them together, we will do it.
Beautiful. And you also have a program for veterans. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like the raison d'être and how that works?
Yeah, I don't know how it started, but it's been there for many, many years. We get volunteers, we get veterans that are retired or on their way to get retired. Sometimes they have physical disabilities too, or not, and we get them involved to just break isolation and meet other veterans that are in the same position. But our goal is to get them to be volunteers.
Oh, nice.
So we invite them for an activity, especially for them. We get all that they need to enjoy their activity, but we let them know that we need more volunteers, and when we can, we do an hybrid activity. So we get participants with a physical disability there so that they can see what we do for those participants, and we let them know that if they want to keep getting involved and do a little bit more for ASF, that they can become volunteer and in the summer or the winter program. And so last winter, 13% of our volunteers were veterans, but they did 25% of the volunteer hours.
Wow.
So a quarter of our activities were run by by veterans.
And that must break down, like you're saying, social isolation and just reintegrate into society. Because that's
they find a purpose, because sometimes when they get retired, they just they left something that was really fulfilling for them, and now they're just looking for something else to do. But with ASF, they find that.
Beautiful. Yeah, when you're not feeling well or you're depressed or unhappy, one of the best ways is to give, to volunteer, to what have you, and ça change tout, You're the one with the gift at the end of the day. And I'm looking forward for the program, for the foundation. Do you have any dreams or big goals or a wish list?
Well, we just expanded in the Laurentians this winter, so
Okay.
it's brand new. Our next target is to expand our summer program. Right now, our summer program is run in the Eastern Township and a little bit in Quebec region, but we are trying to get a summer program in the Quebec region for them to run on their own. So getting them all the equipment needed, all the volunteers needed, getting all the training that they need to have, and so that they could run a summer program on their own. But after that, it's going to be, again, an expansion. We are still trying to find the best region to go. Could be Gaspésie, Bas-Saint-Laurent, Centre du Québec. We don't know yet. We need to find the biggest, not the biggest region, but the region where is the biggest need.
Most demand.
The most demand for a winter program. And then when we find that out, and we will do the same. So getting the equipment, getting the volunteers, getting the training to the volunteers, and putting all of that together.
Wow. Thank you for your commitment and dedication and your big heart. The people involved, I've met so many beautiful people in the program and all ages, peu importe. It's just a really fabulous place to spend time and be with everyone. Thank you, Yan. Do you have anything else you'd like to leave us with, or?
No, I just want to say thanks to the volunteers, because that's without them we couldn't do what we do. And so people like you that are getting involved and are coming back year after year, I just want to thank them.
Well, thank you so much. Encore, c'est moi qui vous remercie for the opportunity. Thank you. Have a wonderful season, and maybe we'll see you in the summer as well.
Merci, for sure.
Merci. Bye.
Bye.
What beautiful people you'll meet if you do take part in the Adaptive Sports Foundation. You can check out their site at sportadapté.ca. That's sportsadaptes.ca to see where they are operating and how you can get involved. This year, the ski program running in the Eastern Townships is at Orford, Owl's Head, and Bromont. That's the downhill program, but there's so much possibility. So do get in touch and look for us out there on the mountain. This is Holly Bailey signing off with the Local Journalism Initiative funded by the Government of Canada.
You've been listening to the Pulse of the Eastern Townships. First, Sutton Mayor Robert Benoît spoke with William Crooks about the town's 2026 budget and the financial realities facing small municipalities. We then heard from Yan Martin, Executive Director of the Adaptive Sports Foundation, about 3 decades of adaptive sports, inclusion, and community impact across the region. You can find more coverage, articles, and audio online at pulsetownships.com. Thanks for listening, and keep that finger on the pulse.
The pulse, do 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 do. The pulse, do 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 do. Townships interviews. Don't forget breaking news. The pulse, the pulse, the pulse. Broadcast just for you. Are you heading out for a cruise? Or lying there for a snooze? Pulse, the Pulse, the Pulse, the Pulse, broadcast just for you. Hey, I know that guy. Hey, I know that gal too. The Pulse, the Pulse, the Pulse, broadcast just for you. The townships are the muse, make sure to choose the Pulse, 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 the Pulse of the Eastern Townships, broadcast just for you.